Space, for the most part, is empty. An ocean of nothing, with little islands of matter here and there, be it atoms, stars, galaxies, or planets. In that inexplicable vastness, the mere concept of proximity seems far-fetched. So when we do see things close to each other out here, they tend to appear all the more magical. This rocky moon draws its course just outside the rings of its parent gas giant. Any closer, and it would have been ripped apart by tidal forces and become part of that very ring adorning this horizon with its silvery bands. The journey starts to take its toll on my ship again, and I decide to make a stop for repairs and fuel aboard the extended warranty before moving further southeast. The next waypoint is just ahead. The Skull and Crossbones Nebula. It marks the southernmost point of the expedition route. We are now at the edge of the Perseus Arm, in a region with rapidly dropping stellar density known as the Perseus Fade. And indeed, the visible stars get scarcer and scarcer with every jump. I stop at the fringes of the nebula, where I land on a planet with a huge crater traversed by canyons and falls. Spending the night while the nebula drifts across the sky like a giant oil spill on water. After waking up to a beautiful sunrise, I depart early to continue my journey, making a slight detour. Over the expedition comms, Commander Elder Thing has mentioned another point of interest nearby. It's a beautiful planetary nebula. At its center, a black hole. The Skull and Crossbones Nebula is only 500 light-years away, its shape greatly distorted by the immense gravitation bending its light. A view equally disturbing and fascinating. couple of light years from the planetary nebula, on an icy world with steep mountains cutting into the black like knives, it is the most dominant object in the sky, its fiery presence even outshining the system's main star. Crossing the Perseus Arm once more, a huge star system discovered by Commander Fluffy Bunny is next on this week's list of noteworthy POIs. There are 82 celestial bodies in it, among them this rocky planet, slightly bigger than Mercury, orbited extremely close by its moon. Their surfaces come as close as 4,150 kilometers to each other, a distance smaller than the planet's diameter. Being that close to each other, the moon is periodically in the shadow of its parent and vice versa, leading to spectacular eclipses every 2.5 hours, and rather chaotic day and night cycles on both planets. Another close moon circles this gas giant, detected by Commander Acclamendo. It is almost touching the edge of its outer ring. The brutal tidal forces exerted on this small world cause its icy crust to shift and crack as it rotates, releasing water trapped underneath. As a result, geysers like this one can be found all over the surface, spewing out water vapor at rapid speeds. Enough to catapult an SRV to dangerous heights. It's strange to think that the very forces that created these geysers also formed the rings on the horizon. Jumping further ahead, I discover this planet, enveloped in a thin ammonia atmosphere. The greenish tint slowly changes to orange as I approach the Terminator. The desert landscape looks dry and barren, but in the sand, strangely familiar plants have taken root, swaying in a gentle breeze. The quietness is almost deafening. only disrupted by the rustling of sand and the tired howl of the wind. My footsteps are the loudest thing on this world right now. Other plant life has found its niche here as well, storing water in thick, fleshy leaves pointing to the crimson sky. After returning to my ship, I rest for a couple of hours, enjoying the evening sun. It's beautiful, but I have to move on. While flying through the atmosphere, the Rayleigh scattering gets less and less prominent, and the colors around me change from orange to green to black again. The next close encounter is arguably the most spectacular. Nice bow tie, which also marks waypoint 6 of the expedition. A neutron red dwarf binary is a rare thing by itself, but this one is also orbited closely by a planet, only 33 light seconds away. The neutron star, with its enormous jets, dominates the skies. A terrible deity, watching over a wasteland made of iron and nickel. There's no life here. Radiation levels are deadly, and temperatures on the surface reach 800 degrees Celsius. Even the Artemis suit can't handle this heat. It's best to stay inside the SRV and hope that the cooling units don't fail. The silhouettes of the mountains are glowing in the intense light as I try to remember the melting point of iron. I could swear that the ground has partly softened in the heat. This place has a gruff charm, even beauty to it. But in the end, it's a metal hellscape that was clearly never meant for us, nor any other living thing. In comparison, this green desert moon seems almost hospitable. Volcanoes, sands, and rocks rich in iron and sulfur, the latter giving the landscape its distinct green coloration. I go for a hike across the desert to a distant mountain. It feels good to move again and take in the views on foot. Back in my SRV, I start climbing the volcano that I parked my ship on. It is only at the top that I realize I've parked on the other peak. Realizing that it's too steep to climb from the bottom, there's only one solution. I have to jump over to my landing spot. This wasn't the plan exactly, but the SRV is able to manage the rest of the climb, and I'm off to this week's final stop. Waypoint 7, Malcolm's World. Orbiting a neutron star, it's an unlikely candidate for life, though it is home to 8 different species. Some are thriving in the harsh sunlight, while others prefer the shadows. This world is yet another example of the tenacity and ingenuity of life. A precious paradise, but only one among countless wonders.